Hello, Master Manifestors. Welcome back to MethodMuse, where we talk about science-based manifestation methods and concepts. Today, we're talking about the matrix mechanisms and system structures. So this is one of my favorite topics because I love kind of deconstructing this matrix construct we live in. It's not a simulation of anything, but it is a construct. There are limits, there are rules. It's even to a degree predictable, can recognize its patterns. Now, one of the most important things I think to understand about being in the matrix, about living in any kind of body with, you know, needs and limits, is that contrast creates context. Okay? Without contrast, we really don't have any kind of basis for comparison for understanding things. So, like, let's say if there's no contrast of having a job or not having a job. Now, what happens in our brain after we recognize the contrast is we often decide that it's bad. We're like, no, we don't like this contrast. It feels limiting and we don't want limits. Or do we? Or do we? Sometimes we do like the contrast. I'm sure you like the contrast of exchanging, like if you know the rules of exchanging, like if you're trying to buy something at the store, you like that kind of contrast. You give them money, they give you food. Now you may run into the type of contrast that you don't have enough money and you're not going to like that. So your brain really has presets about beliefs of how you should feel or what meaning you make out of the contrast. But no matter what you manifest, no matter how the story plays out, you will always have contrast, and your brain is always going to look for problems to solve. Partly because it's bored, partly because it's trying to survive, but it's always going to be looking for some sort of context before it's going to notice the contrast. But when you notice the contrast, think of it like a story option, just like your thoughts. Thoughts are story options. You don't have to listen to your thoughts, and you don't have to always listen to the meaning that your brain automatically makes of contrast. If it says, "Oh, you don't have this money," that means you're a broke loser. No, that's not right. It just means that you don't have the money. Holding it right this second. That doesn't mean that you won't have it soon. Maybe even the next few minutes. Maybe somebody will walk by and hand you the money. Maybe it'll drop out of the sky. Actually, I have literally found money in a bush. It was 50 rupees, I think. It wasn't money, USD, but it was still pretty funny. I was like, "Hey, how about $500?" So it's like, "Here's 500 rupees in a bush." And I'm like, where did this come from? But I mean, and that's the expectation error. It's the reward prediction error in your brain, that any kind of delay between what you expect to see or want to see internally on the outside world, if there's a delay between that and what actually shows up in the external, you get what's called a reward prediction error, where it feels like you've lost freedom, like you've lost something. It feels like a loss. It feels like losing something important, even if it didn't seem that important to you 5 seconds ago. And it can be as little as 3 seconds from the time you think of something. This is what brain scans show. As little as 3 to 5 seconds from the time you thought, "Ah, man, I really want some ice cream." And then 3 seconds later, you're like, "The ice cream's not here." We really do love our instant gratification. We really do. And it's just the way our brains work. We just kind of work with it. And it's important to understand that the matrix is not out to get you. The system is not out to get you. It's just a function of cause and effect and systems interacting with systems. And when you look at it that way and you realize, okay, it doesn't really mean that I am losing something, even if my brain's trying to tell me that, and noticing that, then you immediately redirect it. And this is where the opening opportunities comes in. Your reticular activating system in your nervous system, in your brain, it chooses what is salient, what is important to the system. That does not necessarily align what you consciously think is important. The system prioritizes needs, survival, expansion, whatever looks like success to your unconscious system. So addressing any kind of limiting beliefs, stopping you from feeling like you can have whatever manifestation you have, is what's going to open up your opportunity settings. Because your brain's only going to notice what's important, right? In your environment. So you're always missing these opportunities you didn't know that were there because your brain's literally just skipping them. Like, it's not even bringing it to your conscious level. It's like a preset. And so we call these associations, you have these associations of things. So the preset comes up, well, I'm not the type of person to be able to do that. And your brain will literally ignore it, not even pay attention to it because it's trying to save energy. And, keep your story cohesive. Can't put too much into your story. It's not going to make sense. But if you tell your brain using things like affirmations, thought streams, visualizations, deliberately noticing things to be grateful for in that realm. Let's say you want money, right? Let's say you want love. Let's do love. Let's say you want to find more romantic opportunities, right? But you think you're not the kind of person to have so and so, such and such romantic opportunity or such and such type of person. Your brain is automatically just going to avoid it. It's going to be like, nope, let's just go look for what seems to be us. So by using things like visualization, affirmations, and a lot of the time, even just going out and trying something a little new in the external, you can have, activity outside of your brain and body to help you manifest. But what you want to be doing is making sure you're not doing that as some sort of trade. Remember, you already have these experiences available to you. Your mind just hasn't opened up to them yet. And that's the trick. That's the goal, is to let your mind open up by seeking evidence to either contradict or support the beliefs that you want to hold about yourself and the world. And the ones that you want are the ones that are aligned with your manifestation. So if you want love, you need to be telling yourself, I'm the kind of person who easily attracts love. I easily attract admiration. I easily attract other partners. I feel so comfortable with myself. See, these are the sort of thoughts you want running in the background stream so that when the opportunities come up, you're mentally available for them. So I hope this has helped you understand a little bit about some of the matrix system structures that we live in this construct. And it can be a really great thing. You just got to learn how to work with the system to get the kind of experiences that you want. But always remember, you're still going to have contrast. Thank you for listening. Please like, subscribe, and sign up for the MethodMuse newsletter in the description below.